Time now is 5 o'clock. I'm going to call the South King Fire Board of Fire Commissioners meeting to order. Pledge allegiance, Commissioner Vedino. Thank you. Approval of minutes from April 22nd, 2025 regular board meeting. Do I have a motion?
Make a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll second that motion.
Motion by Commissioner Burr, second by Commissioner Vedino. Approval of minutes from April 22nd, 2025. Any other discussion on the motion on the table? Hearing seen none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Thank you. It's approved. Commissioner comments, item number 4. I'm going to start to my left with Commissioner Fuller. Thank you.
No comments.
Commissioner Burris.
No comments.
Commissioner Vedino.
Nothing for me, thank you.
Nothing from me except welcome. Thank you for coming on this sunny day. Thank you. Public comments, item number 5. If we have any public comment, please state your name and your address for record. Limit comments to 3 minutes or less. Any public comments at this time? Hearing seen none, move on to item number 6. Commissioner committee reports. Are there any commissioner committee reports?
Yeah, we had an insurance committee. Probably Commissioner Gates would be better to discuss it, but for me, it was purely informational. Mr. Stanford did a great job of kind of where we're at, what our options are. He's been doing it for a long time. And I don't know, there's just weird things like I never really thought about, you can't call PEMCO and have them insure your fire engine. It was very interesting how limited the number of options we have to insure our stuff. And so he's happy with where we're at. I did not realize when I recognized his name finally, he was actually a commissioner there for about 10 years. So I think he has our best interest in mind. We'll probably have another meeting in another year, unless things go wrong or something. But yeah, it was really interesting.
Thank you. Any other commissioner committee reports?
Question, there was attached to that report a list of incidents that insurance has covered. Wondering what kind of an accident and prevention program has responded to those, the types of incidents. Some of them have been pretty expensive.
They were varied. I think there were 29 in a 5-year period. I was kind of surprised at how many of them we paid out when it really wasn't the department driver's fault. But I'm assuming it was uninsured or underinsured or something like that. Obviously, there were some that were kind of the classics, going through the bay door. And we've been talking about that for years on how you do it.
How you go through the bay door?
Huh?
Oh, sorry. Sorry.
On how do we prevent that?
Okay. I was just making sure that was what we were talking about.
A comment that the Fromhold family, it's now a family tradition that both Steve back to snorkel into it in his first year at South Snohomish District 1. So it's now a family tradition.
Yes, I remember both of those. Well, I wasn't there for Steve's, but I mean, it would be great if we could form a program that would prevent all of that. But there is always going to be a certain level of inattention that is part of the condition of being a human being. And I would certainly be open to any ideas that anybody had. But I think we do have a pretty good drivers program nowadays. It was kind of interesting. We were hoping that once we had the driver's position, that the incidents might go down. And I think you said that they actually went up a little bit. And I really thought about that a lot for a couple of days. And then I kind of connected it with another thing we talked about, which is how young our department is. So even though our drivers may have had some pretty good education, they're still pretty new at the whole process. It's not like it's somebody who's been doing this for 20 years. And people do still, when the tones go off, people get excited. When they get excited, their brain shuts off a little bit and they go through the bay door. If somebody got delayed and, they're on automatic timers and, again, I think that would be up to somebody else to come up with an idea of what could we do to tweak our drivers program to see it go down. But 29 in 5 years, so that's, let's say 6 a year. Quite a few of those were not the driver's fault. So if we take it down to, let's say 4 a year, yeah, that's too many, but it's not outrageous because they're dealing with high stress situations and sometimes that's going to happen.
And we aren't dealing with personal injury.
I don't think any of them had personal injury, did they?
No.
So they were, they weren't minor when you look at the cost of one of them, but I think they were all relatively low impact.
Yeah.
So nobody got hurt.
Yep. Thank you.
Thank you.
Just to add on to Commissioner Burris's comments, over that 5-year period, we've probably gone on 140,000 calls, give or take. So to have 29 incidents and only 19 of those were auto. So still pretty good in the scheme of things. And one of the things that Jack indicated was Endurus very much wants our business. They appreciate us. They appreciate us as a client, and they want to continue to carry us. So it's good stuff.
Thank you. Any other committee reports?
I have one add-on to the committee report. The Finance and Audit Committee did meet. One of the things that we talked about was the replacement of the telehandler, which is a forklift for the drill ground here. We got a quote for $60,000, $67,000. One of the things that the committee had asked for was what it would cost to lease it. Director Lee and Supervisor Ken Brummett got a quote on that, and it would cost us about $70,000 to lease it over a 2-year period. So it makes sense for us to just outright buy it. It is a used unit. Total cost with tax $67,000. So this is something that I recommend proceeding with, and we would take it out of contingency.
Thank you. Should you had something?
The hiring committee met to discuss what we wanted included in the ESCI contract. Unfortunately, Lori was out for a couple of weeks, so that is still in process.
Thank you. All right. Here and seeing the other reports, item number 7, resolution 666, adoption of IFC permit fee schedule.
This was also something that was discussed at the Finance and Audit Committee. Fire Marshal Nichols proposed an adjustment to the fee schedule to help minimize some of the repeat calls that we've been getting. Before I read it, are there any questions about it?
How big a change is it and how will that be communicated to the, I guess most of them are going to be businesses.
So the change will be if they go above 10 preventable responses in a single calendar year, it'll be the cost of 2 fire engines and 6 firefighters responses. So it comes out to $638. Right now they get charged $200 and some of them have far exceeded 10 in a year without making any changes. What was your second question? I'm sorry.
How are the changes being communicated out to businesses?
So I send out warning letters to everyone, and then especially these ones that were repeat offenders. I've warned them that we are asking you folks to increase the fines. So they are aware that it's potentially coming.
10 times seems kind of liberal. Just do it.
Uh,
Do it.
10 seems little.
No, liberal.
Liberal. Yeah, no, I sat there and we did the math and kind of mathed it out. We're trying to work with them so that hopefully they will make changes. We do have some complexes that do make changes after like their 5th or 6th bill, but we literally have one building in the Des Moines area that I believe they'll be at 28 or 29 responses by the end of this month. So for the calendar year, for an elevator call that is something that they literally can put a piece of paper in a protective cover in their elevator and it would solve 80% of these calls.
Good source of money.
Not trying to raise money, trying to just make it so that these folks don't get beat up for silliness.
Thank you.
So, John, question. So on that, I know it's not a source of money, but how do you enforce if they don't pay after a certain time, or is there a enforcement procedure or some type of contingency if you go like 6 times and charge and they don't pay for anything? Is there a time limit, or is there some way that you collect off of them somehow toward the end, or how's that work?
So it goes to collections. We have a third party collecting the money. So it does go to a collections agency. So if it matters to them, they'll make a difference. Plus we are having our inspectors go out and issue violations as well. So they essentially could get double hit with reinspection fees plus preventable response fees.
Okay. So on an elevator case, would you shut that down?
No, not the elevator. We can't. It's
Right.
accessibility, unfortunately.
Okay. Thank you. Any other questions? Dr. Ganem?
Not sure if Fire Marshal Nichols had anything to do with the resolution number, but we were talking maybe we should.
When I read it, I went, oh, 666.
Okay, resolution number 666, a resolution of the Board of Commissioners of South King Fire, King County, Washington, regarding the adoption of the IFC permit fee schedule, after-hour inspection fee schedule, and preventable response fees. Adopted at a regular meeting of the Board of Commissioners of South King Fire this 27th day of May, 2025, the following commissioners being present and voting.
I move to approve resolution 666.
Motion by Commissioner Vedino, seconded by Commissioner Fuller. Any other discussion on the motion on the table for resolution 666? Hearing seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Thank you. Thank you, Director Ganem. Item number 8, Administrative Team Report.
Hello again. Quick note. Thank you for the attendance tonight. I've been going out to the stations and asking, hoping that our crews would show up to these meetings. It's always helpful when they can hear what's going on. In some of those sessions, I've been told that when I don't provide a report in my staff report, it's like I'm hiding something and I'm not being transparent, which is not who I am. So I made it a point of getting a report in tonight. So just have a couple of things that I want to touch on. First off, we've already talked about it multiple times, but we're still riding the high of the immersive training that went on here a little over a week ago. That was a tremendous opportunity, and just like that, they're gone. Thanks for coming. Tremendous opportunity for our support staff to engage with our firefighters and understand what it takes to be a firefighter. And so many of us do things to support them, but to actually be able to use the equipment that they use and understand the ins and outs of their jobs. I mean, that was just, a tidbit of it, but so many people thoroughly enjoyed it and are looking forward to doing it again in the future. Some of the things we talked about is maybe a one-day session where we just kind of close the offices and we just have everybody together do it one day. And also have an opportunity for the special teams to showcase their work and let our support staff actually get involved at that level. So this is something that we want to continue. You saw it in the report. Maryland was here 42 and a half years and never got to experience anything like that. So tremendous stuff. Last Thursday, I did attend a trench rescue drill in Black Diamond. I was invited by the rescue team to go out there and see what they do. It was led by Engineer Joyner, but Lieutenant Nielsen, Engineers McKinney and Dupraw, and Firefighter Templeman were there. Again, another great opportunity to see our firefighters in action and put their skills to the test. And the amount of knowledge that they have and understanding of their work is fantastic. They talked about different soil types and different conditions, and it was a zone training. Puget Sound was there, Valley was there, and so another great opportunity to see them in action. So I appreciated that invitation. Also part of the station visits. So I'm learning a lot as I get out and talk to the firefighters. And one of the things that I've known about just because I've been here for a long time now, but we didn't remodel the bathrooms at our fire stations during the seismic retrofitting. It wasn't the priority. The priority was to keep the station standing, but the bathrooms were not renovated. One of the concerns that was brought to my attention was, Joe, why don't you go shower in our bathrooms? I went and took a look at the bathrooms and agree that it's past due. If you imagine our firefighters going to the scenes that they do and then coming back and needing to clean themselves and then not have a good place to do that, that's not good. And it's not good for their mental health. It's not good for their hygiene. So you're going to hear in a little bit, we're in a positive budget position, and I'm recommending that we be attentive to our bathrooms across the district. I guesstimated that we have about 30 bathrooms that our firefighters use and shower in. So with our positive budget position, I recommend doing that sooner than later and working with Director Lee and facilities to come up with a schedule in terms of how quickly we can be attentive to these things and what that order might look like. But we need to do something. So that's for the board to consider once we come up with a proposal. Okay. Again, another great staff report, a lot of information. We are lightly attended tonight. Chief Smith is on vacation. Chief Anderson is online. Chief Winter is online. Are there any questions from the staff report? And if we can't answer them tonight, we'll write them down and we'll follow up with you.
You didn't do your job.
I know. It's funny.
What's the delivery time from order to delivery of the Spartan engines? They did a great inspection of them. It looked like solved a lot of issues that could have gone.
Director Lee can answer that for you.
So that was a final inspection that we conducted with those two teams. I noted in my commissioner report that there were well over 50. I would say probably closer to the 70 mark in terms of cosmetic issues, but there were some pretty glaring quality control problems. So as a result, we're slated for July, but we have a working spreadsheet right now with Spartan on both the apparatus. There's going to be some sizable changes on their end that they need to fix. And so I would be optimistic if we can get them by August. That's back to Hillsborough, which will send another team down to do another final inspection on a final inspection.
When did we order?
About 2 years ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So unfortunately, the quality control with Spartan is not good. And I can't speak for any other manufacturer, but from what we saw, it just seemed like they're just slapping these things together and pushing them out the door as fast as they can.
Have we dealt with Spartan before?
We have. Yeah, we purchased the Gladiators in the past, and our heavy rescues also from Spartan.
Didn't have that issue, or
They all have issues, yeah. And I think anybody who's a firefighter here will understand that not only are the issues felt by firefighters, but the fleet mechanics are behind on projects because they're working hard on Spartan. We're actually rather profitable from that standpoint, from enterprise services, because theoretically we backbill. So we're a warranty shop, if you will, because we have the technicians to do the work.
Do we charge them for it?
Yeah, well, I need to work with Supervisor Brumman on that, but yeah, we need to look at our past invoices to make sure we're getting paid. Everything's been documented.
And there was some discussion about the South Station, locating the South Station. Some discussion wasn't successful with transit.
Sound Transit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are our other plans? At one time, we were talking about Station 60 possibly being a
Right.
station location.
So what that refers to, we had a meeting with Sound Transit, and Sound Transit is split between the Federal Way Run and the Tacoma Link. And we were meeting with the Federal Way team, and we were asking about property around Station 60, because once they developed down there, a few years ago, when Chief Matafton was here, we were under the notion that Sound Transit was going to take over the Corliss property there, the concrete plant. And when they were done with it, they may not need all that. They would offload it. So we were inquiring about what that timetable looked like, so that maybe we could capture some real estate next to Station 60 and build there. Was that 2029, Mitch?
Yeah.
They first off, the Federal Way team couldn't answer the question. They said, no, you got to go to the Tacoma team. And furthermore, that is extended out 28, 29-ish. And we said, that's way too far down the road. We need to be doing something in the next couple of years here. So, so Director Lee is working on a couple of different parcels in the area that we've honed in on.
Okay.
So also, if I can jump on that as well, when Director Gammon and I met with Sound Transit, we asked about surplus property, and public safety is not a consideration, unfortunately. So when they do surplus property, it has to go to low income housing first, or at least only, that's what we were told.
Hmm.
So even if we were to wait, it's a moot point.
Yeah. There's lots of events that public events, and I'd encourage you, if it's possible, to include the commissioners in staffing those, like the truck, touch a truck, when they're going to set up a booth or something like that. Ask the commissioners if they want to come along, just as another voice or another
Representation.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Explorer Academy, I have a strong interest in that, having spent most of my adult life and in scouting for most of my life, either merit badge, lately merit badge counselor, but started out, Cub Scouts, spent 5 summers in a camp director at a great camp. So I'm very supportive of that group, and if there's anything I can do to help, let me know.
Okay. We'll let Chief Smith and Chief Anderson know that. Thank you.
The Forest Service just made the chief just made a statement about wildfire, that he wants to see more aggressive attack. I don't know if you've seen that. I'll send the URL of it, but he's asking for more aggressive, quicker, rather than letting it burn and solve some of our fire problems, fire load problems. He said, let's get them out. So I'll send that along. It might be useful.
Okay.
Okay. I did have a lot of comments.
Wow.
A lot, as I usually do, but those are the highlights. It's a great report. Each report gets better in terms of what's being done, getting the details, and seeing the results. And again, I mentioned last time, a lot of cross department activity and working with the zone 3. Great to see us reaching out and reaching across.
I agree. There was a comment a couple meetings ago about the length of it and how much toner he uses, but the graphs and the pictures and everything in there tell a story. So
I figured out how to do it just in black and white.
I think they're about as concise as they can be at this
Good.
point. So any other questions?
I just have a comment.
Yep.
Okay, I mean, I agree with Commissioner Fuller. I've seen I think from the first one I've ever seen to now. And so, and it's telltale when I don't have too many questions on it.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I do, this one was really comprehensive. There's nothing I can go in there and pick something, but I was like, no, it explains later, down the road. And I know that Commissioner Medina went to Marissa training, I liked her. Look good in the outfit. So do you.
Yeah.
But thank you for doing that, and it takes a lot to understand. So one thing, you went to the training Black Diamond, was there something that stood out?
Well, all of these engagements that I've been involved with stand out. So let's just say that. For people that know me personally, I'm deathly afraid of heights. And they had the ladder out here, and they said, "Are you going to do it?" And I said, "No." Lieutenant Nielsen pulled up and asked me, "Are you going to do it?" And I said, "No, man, I'm not." And he gave me a lead by example leadership speech, and he wasn't wrong. And I put my fears behind me and climbed to the top of that ladder. So that experience, being in the burn tower and being disoriented and panicking, gave me a taste for what they go through. And I was told I got a more real experience. We didn't get the heat, but by the end of the day, the tanks were low on oxygen, so everybody's tanks were going off. So it added to the confusion for us. But Chief Michael says, "Oh, that's fun stuff," and I'm like, "What's wrong with you?" Sorry, you're here. I wouldn't have said that if you weren't here. And how on the trench rescue, what stood out to me is how the different agencies come together and how they communicate and coordinate. It happened to be that Joyner was leading it, but everybody has a role. Everybody has a responsibility. The teamwork, the technical understanding that they have to make this work and to make sure it's done in a safe manner. And then walking me through what they were doing, just awesome. Just leave it at that.
Yeah, it's more formalized when you have special teams, but if you just go on regular calls, like everyone knows, each member on that team has a specific job to do.
Yep.
And we rely on each other to do that. And that's a big thing too, right? So it's always great to see that teamwork. It's always great to see the call volume that's there is being mitigated and taken care of by our folks. And it's actually, make a lot of people proud.
Yep. It's fantastic.
Yep.
Doing stem cell treatment is significant. And I don't know if all agencies are providing stem cell.
No, they don't. Go ahead. We've had it in our medical plan for a number of years now, but no, it's not prevalent. Did you have a comment?
Echoing the rest of the comments there, it's just all information is good information, and it's getting better and better.
Good.
I really like that.
It's good to hear. Thank you. Okay,
Okay,
moving on.
thank you. Now we're down to the May budget.
All right. Through May, we would expect to be at 41 67/100% for the year. And we are trending very, very well at 37 44/100%, which puts us at 4 23/100% under budget, which is a significant amount to be under budget, which is why I'm proposing that we use some of these additional funds to, it's one-time money really, to maybe get the bathrooms upgraded. But good budget position. With the particulars, we have Finance Supervisor Barrett here tonight.
Okay, so for mid-month, It totaled $245,244.40. Accounts payable totaling $1,476,620.46. Payroll direct deposit totaling $1,652,278.03. EFTPS totaling $370,334.93. Medical claims processed as of May 20th totaling $344,422.98 for a total approval of $4,088,900.80.
Any questions? If not,
I move to approve the vouchers.
I'll second that.
motion by Commissioner Medina, approval of vouchers, second by Commissioner Burris. Any other discussion on the motion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, thank you. So at this time, the board will convene into executive session to discuss attorney-client privilege matters per RCW 42.30.1101I. To discuss with legal counsel representing agency matters relating to agency enforcement actions, or to discuss with legal counsel representing agency litigation or potential litigation to which the agency, the governing body, or a member acting in official capacity is or is likely to become a party, when public knowledge regarding discussion is likely to result in an adverse legal or financial consequence to the agency. So join the board executive session with Executive Director Ganem, Executive Secretary Perry, and legal counsel. So time now is 5:31. We're going to convene until 6:01 at this time unless extended.